Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling when you say, I feel like stress is literally destroying my body?
Hmm.
Well, we've all wondered if that's just, a bit of drama, or if it's actually biologically true.
And it is. It's more than a metaphor. It's a measurable biological process.
So that's our mission today.
Exactly. We're going to dive deep into a medical case study, a really detailed one. It's a conversation between a patient and her doctor that tracks how that psychological pressure becomes real physical damage.
And the case is just so relatable. The patient, Emily, was going through this huge corporate change.
The company acquisition, right?
Yeah, company acquisition, new management, totally new demands, and this crushing expectation that she had to be on all the time.
I think the source mentioned 2 a.m. emails.
2 in the morning.
Hmm.
And that constant mental load, it's feeling that you're never really off the clock. That's the trigger.
It's the perfect trick. It keeps the brain perpetually switched on. So we're going to unpack how that state of alert activates your basic survival hardware.
The fight or flight system.
Right, the sympathetic nervous system,
Yeah.
and also the HPA axis, which is what manages your stress hormones.
Mhm.
If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed, this deep dive is going to show you exactly what's happening inside your body.
Okay, let's start with the most obvious symptom she had, which was just this perpetual exhaustion.
Right.
She said she'd been drained for 4 or 5 months, waking up tired, and by noon she was just done. How is that different from just, needing a long weekend?
It's fundamentally different. It's about energy redirection, not just depletion. When your sympathetic nervous system is always on, your body thinks it's fighting a lion.
Every single day.
Every single day. So it pulls energy away from normal things like maintenance, digestion, your immune system, and it shoves all that fuel into immediate survival mode.
So it's not that she's out of fuel, it's that her body is burning it at this insane crisis rate just to get through the day.
Precisely. It's like leaving your car's engine revving at the highest RPM for months on end. You're forcing the body to use resources in a way that is just completely unsustainable.
Yeah.
She feels like she's running on fumes because her system is in high alarm, and that takes a huge amount of energy.
And that leads to this vicious cycle the sources talk about. Stress ruins your sleep, and then the bad sleep makes the stress feel even worse.
It's a trap.
Yeah, Emily described just lying in bed with her mind racing, not relaxing but planning deadlines, thinking of worst-case scenarios, and then waking up over and over again.
And sleep is your only real chance to recover. But when stress hormones like cortisol are high, your body reads that as a danger signal.
Even when you're safe in bed.
Exactly. Cortisol is designed to wake you up so you can run away.
Mm.
When those levels don't drop at night, they actively block deep restorative sleep.
Mm.
It creates this cruel loop where you're so tired you can't cope, which just makes you more stressed.
Okay, so beyond the exhaustion, the stress was also showing up as physical pain. She had constant tension headaches, jaw pain in the morning from clenching her teeth.
And that shoulder and neck tension, the feeling like you're constantly bracing for impact.
Yes, like I'm constantly tensing them. That's a direct quote.
This is a fantastic piece of evidence that physical lockdown points directly to the HPA axis being chronically activated.
The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Your mean stress regulator.
So help me understand the mechanism here. Why does the HPA axis decide to make your neck muscles tight?
It's a survival reflex. In a real moment of danger, you instinctively tense your core, your jaw, your shoulders, your neck to protect your head.
Right, makes sense.
Well, when cortisol and adrenaline stay high because your brain thinks the danger is nonstop, those muscles get a constant hormonal signal to stay semi-contracted. It's a low-grade, all-day biological command.
So it's not just bad posture from sitting at a desk. It's a hormone telling your muscles stay tight, just in case.
Precisely. And that chronic tension restricts the blood flow. It causes metabolic waste to build up in the muscle tissue, and that leads to inflammation. That's what's behind those unrelenting headaches and the jaw clenching. It's proof the HPA axis has basically hijacked your musculoskeletal system.
Let's shift to something that I think surprises a lot of people, which is the gut.
Second brain.
Yes. Emily's symptoms were really gastrointestinal. Morning nausea, especially when she checked work messages, cramps, even diarrhea during really stressful moments.
This is all about the vagus nerve. It's the superhighway of communication between your brain and your GI system. We call the gut the second brain for a reason. It has this huge network of neurons that manage digestion, but it's constantly getting messages from your first brain.
Wait, so if the vagus nerve is the highway, is a panic signal from the brain basically like a massive traffic jam in your gut?
That is a perfect analogy. When your brain perceives danger, it sends a signal down that highway that says, pause all non-essential functions. And digestion is definitely non-essential when you're running for your life.
So it just shuts down.
Or it speeds everything up for evacuation. Stress hormones pull resources away from the gut wall. They can change your microbiome, and they disrupt the smooth muscle contractions that move food along.
And for Emily, that meant nausea and diarrhea. But for someone else, it could be the opposite, like acid reflux or constipation.
Absolutely. The point is, the stomach issues are a direct physiological result of stress hormones hijacking your digestive system. The doctor in the source is very clear about this. These are not psychosomatic symptoms. They are real.
And of course, the psychological fallout was just as bad. She felt anxious all the time, constantly on edge, irritable.
Lashing out at her family in the evenings.
Right, and then feeling guilty for not being productive enough, even though she was completely running on empty.
That combination, exhaustion, irritability, and guilt, that's the classic definition of burnout. And it's so important to hear the doctor's point here. Burnout is not a character flaw. It's not weakness.
No.
It's a sign that your body has been pushed past its biological limits for far too long. You've run out of resources.
And then things escalated to, well, the truly terrifying part, the panic attacks.
Yeah.
Racing heart, can't breathe, dizziness, chest pressure, feeling like you are 100% having a heart attack.
Those attacks are your body's loudest alarm bell finally going off. Because your system is already flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, the threshold to trigger a full-blown flight response is incredibly low.
So any little thing can set it off.
Any little thing, a sudden noise, another urgent email, and the system is flooded with adrenaline. The physical symptoms are very real. The chest pain is from severe muscle tension and hyperventilation. But the cause is hormonal overload.
So let's tie this all together. Why does the brain keep sounding the alarm even when she's just sitting at her desk?
This is the absolute core of it all. It's understanding the difference between actual danger, like a lion, and perceived danger.
Like fear of getting fired.
Or the fear of being judged, the fear of disappointing your new boss.
Yeah.
Your brain's ancient survival system, the limbic system, does not know the difference.
So the fear of missing a deadline triggers the exact same hormonal cascade as running from a predator.
Exactly. And if the perceived danger is continuous, then survival mode is continuous.
Which brings us back to my first question. How does this actually destroy your body? Let's break down the long-term systemic damage. What does constant high cortisol do?
It's catastrophic long-term. First, it suppresses your immune system. It diverts energy away from fighting germs, so you get sick more often. Second, and this is a big one, cortisol raises your blood sugar.
Why?
It tells your liver to dump glucose into your bloodstream because your body thinks it needs immediate fuel to fight or flee. If that happens day after day, your risk for metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance goes way up.
A direct path to potential type 2 diabetes.
A measurable physical attack, yes.
And the cardiovascular system. It can't be good to be running at 110% all the time.
No, it doesn't cope well. Constant sympathetic activation means your heart rate and blood pressure are always elevated. Your blood vessels lose flexibility, and the pure mechanical strain on your heart muscle increases. It's why chronic stress is a massive independent risk factor for heart disease. It's just wear and tear.
The sources also mention hormonal impacts, especially for women.
Yes, the body's hormonal machinery can only do so much. If the HPA axis is constantly screaming for stress hormone production, it messes with the balance of reproductive hormones.
Leading to things like irregular periods.
Irregular periods, low libido, even chronic skin issues or severe fatigue. It's the whole endocrine system getting thrown out of whack.
And finally, cognition. Your ability to just think.
It vanishes.
Yeah.
Your brain is literally prioritizing survival over complex thought. The prefrontal cortex, your center for concentration, decision-making, memory, is partially taken offline. You're not becoming stupid. Your brain is just using all its power to scan for threats instead of solving spreadsheets.
But, and this is so important, the doctor's strongest message was that this damage is reversible.
Yes. That is absolutely essential to hear. Your body is incredibly resilient. The symptoms are real. They are terrifying, but they are treatable. Once you can reduce the stressors and give the nervous system signals of safety, the HPA axis can reset. The body can start to repair itself.
Okay, so that brings us to the most crucial part for anyone listening, actionable steps.
Right.
If the job is still there, the pressure is still there, how do you actually override this powerful biological system?
You have to speak the body's language. And the language of the nervous system is safety. This isn't just, generic self-help. It's targeted physiological intervention. The doctor focused on three key things that directly tell your nervous system the threat is over.
Okay, first one, sleep hygiene.
And it was more than just a consistent bedtime. The key instruction was no phones before bed,
The big one.
the big one. Because the blue light and the content emails, news, they are potent activators of that fight or flight system right when you need to be winding down. You have to physically remove the stimulus to let your cortisol drop. It's an act of biological discipline.
And the second point was about her habit of checking emails at 6:30 in the morning, which immediately started the panic.
Physiologically, that's self-sabotage. The advice was clear. No stressful messages for the first hour you're awake. Your cortisol is naturally at its peak in the morning to give you energy.
And she was hijacking that for panic.
Exactly. You're training your brain that the first thought of the day must be fear. You have to protect that first hour, let it be calm, and send a signal of safety to your HPA axis.
And the third step, which I liked, was about integrating small amounts of movement, not a huge workout.
This is so powerful.
Yeah.
Just a 10-minute walk after meals. The reason is biological. When you're stressed, you're full of adrenaline. Gentle movement helps your body metabolize that circulating adrenaline and cortisol. It's like a chemical detox. Plus, rhythmic movement like walking actually calms the emotional centers of your brain through the vagus nerve.
So it's not about burning calories.
Not at all. It's about signaling to your nervous system that you are safe enough to move, which means the danger must have passed.
And underlying all of this is that huge psychological shift. Understanding that rest is not laziness, it's a biological necessity.
That's the hardest part for so many people. They feel guilty when they aren't being productive. But the doctor put it perfectly. Continuing to push through is like driving a car with no oil. You will break the engine. Accepting rest as a biological duty is the first step.
And finally, support. The doctor noted she was trying to do it all alone, but that humans aren't made to cope alone.
So true. Emotional regulation is a co-regulated activity. Simply having a support system, friends, or a professional, validates what you're going through. Awareness is the first step, but support gives you the energy to take the second.
What's really hitting me here is how much control we've given modern technology over our ancient survival systems. I mean, she checked her email at 6:30 a.m. and instantly triggered her body's alarm system.
It's the ultimate evolutionary mismatch. Our nervous system can't tell the difference between a predator and a push notification, and yet we expose ourselves to those triggers first thing in the morning. Every morning, we set the tone for the entire day.
So here's the final thought for you to take away from this deep dive. If chronic stress means your brain constantly thinks you're in danger, what is one concrete boundary you could implement tomorrow morning?
Something simple.
Something simple related to technology or movement that would tell your brain unequivocally that you are safe even before your workday begins.
Use what you've just learned about your HPA axis and your vagus nerve to find that biological signal of safety.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.